Okay, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute. Let's see if it goes. Okay. Let's see if anybody pops in.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. Oh, I gotta set my alarm or something. To adjust the elf on the shelf.
You have an elf on a shelf. When
Yeah,
did
we
that
got
whole
one.
thing start?
For us or in general?
In general,
I have no idea.
because that definitely wasn't around when we were kids.
It was?
No, I said it definitely
it
wasn't around.
Wasn't around,
yeah.
right. Let's set that for 10:45.
Yay! The crypto markets are no longer shit.
On shelf. Done. Save. All right. And then back over here. All right. Let's see how long we've been rolling. Okie dokie.
Shall we roll?
Yeah, let's roll.
Hey,
what's up? Welcome to episode 275 of the Hooniverse podcast. What's going on, Chris?
Oh, nothing much. Just noticing that we're gonna need a new intro video soon.
Oh yeah, well that intro video is going to take a while because I need to find someone to make that for me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about hiring someone through Fiverr to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a lot of graphic designers on Fiverr, so I might go that route. We'll see. But either way, we will have to replace it at some point. The intro for all the Hooniverse videos in general.
We could always just do fast cuts of your old footage or something like that.
Yeah, we could do something. But
do you remember like the intro to the first Need for Speed game?
Yes.
Where it was just all shitty B-roll?
Yes.
Like that.
I have plenty of shitty B-roll, so it's possible. So doing a live one. We're in the studio, which means we also have no guest, which means we're doing the news.
Yes, and it's also our last live show of the year.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the next couple of weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and
we have SEMA shows.
Yep.
How many do we have?
There's several left.
Okay,
so
good.
we've got coverage.
I'm getting good feedback on the SEMA shows this year, by the way.
Really?
So, yeah, people were saying they're the best ones ever.
There was a lot of production that went into it this year.
But I think the who you got too, like Fensky, Musto, Alana, everybody. That helps.
I haven't even put out that panel show yet.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, well you know what? I'll do that as everybody's little Christmas podcast.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's we've got Aaron Robinson, Musto, Alana, and I apologize, I can't remember the other woman that was on, but it was a great lineup.
I wonder who it was.
It was the first time I met her, which is why my brain she was great. It's just my brain is.
Now I want to know who it was. I wonder if she was in that photo you sent me. All right. So first item on the news. It is timely. 2019 Ford Ranger.
Yes, and I read your article.
Oh yeah. Well, when it's on Jello Picnic, it kind of gets seen.
The thing is that I was a little surprised to see yours at the very top there, given. Like it's been a while
on the Google search or just on Jalopnik?
Both actually. It showed up at the top of my Google News.
Right.
They're like, "Hey, Jeff, and you like this?"
I'm gonna see where the views are at while you keep going. Sorry.
But yeah, right at the very top page of Jalopnik, I did not expect to see your name up there.
Yeah. Whenever you write a story for Jalopnik, it's gonna get a lot of eyeballs, and it's already at 133,000 views on the day, and almost 400 comments. So people are curious about this one, as they should be. You want to click over. I posted an image of Instagram. So this is a photo I shot and posted before my drive went up.
That full screen?
And I thought I did. Sorry. And I can even zoom in more. So boom, look at that.
Fancy.
Yep. They had a mud pit. They had a really cool off-road course lined up.
Oh, that's actually a picture from the event.
Oh yeah, I
cool.
shot this picture of someone else driving it. It's kind of grainy because that's an Instagram photo.
That looks quite good. I would actually thought that was maybe stock stock
No,
shot.
no, I had some good photos from the event. It was easy to take the photos because I mean they had a super awesome mud pit and a white truck, but more important than than the um the truck itself, you can jump back.
Yeah.
Is it's good. The Ranger's good.
Yeah, well, it needs to be. It's got some. I mean, the Colorado has been pretty stiff competition. You know, well, it had no competition. I mean, to me, I thought the Colorado was a better truck than the Tacoma currently.
Well, if you look at it from sales,
Yeah,
Tacoma's king.
yes, it is. Which is actually funny because the Tacomas apparently don't hold up for shit in salty.
No,
water.
they don't, but their resale value does.
It does.
People don't give a shit if you can see through the rear bed.
Which is funny because, like, in every other aspect, I'd say in my experience driving them, the Colorado is the better truck.
So depends on which one you get, depends on which engine you get, and I'm at this very moment I'm specifically talking about Colorado versus Tacoma.
Yeah.
So the Tacoma, the off-road spec ones are fantastic. The ZR2 is good, but like,
and then the new Bison that's out now.
I know I got to drive that
cool.
one. But then the TRD Pro Tacoma is really good for 2019 because they've actually swapped to Fox, and then the smarter buy for the Tacoma has always been the TRD off-road, which downgrades it a little bit. But then if you're an off-roader, you're going to put some of stuff you want back on it.
Yeah.
So you can do your wheels and tires and upgrade and save money.
It seems like if you were going to go out of the box and not change anything, you get the ZR2.
Yes, I think you're right.
But if you want to, because the Toyota's got a ton of aftermarket stuff. I don't know how the aftermarket support is on the Colorados yet. I imagine it's probably pretty good.
I mean, it's a Chevy product.
But I mean, the thing is the nice thing with the Colorados, you can get the diesel too.
Yeah. So the diesel, when I talked about the Ranger, I didn't compare it to the diesel because there's no diesel for the Ford.
Ford's not doing it.
And there's no diesel for the Toyota.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just one powertrain for the Ranger. 2.3 liter EcoBoost, 10-speed gearbox.
Which is smart on Ford's behalf because
right.
They have a tendency to offer too many powertrains.
Yeah.
I mean, like the truck, the F-150s, you can get the 2.7, the 3.5, and the 5 liter.
All the full sizes are kind of like that though. Like Ram has a shitload of engines. Chevy has a shitload of engines. Like they all have a lot of engines. So it's nice to see. And then the power spread covers. So the 4-cylinder options for Toyota and Chevy don't even bother with them. The V6 options for both are good, but the Ford is more powerful than the Tacoma, and it has more torque than the Colorado.
Although I think the V6 that's built on the LT platform, or it's based on the LT platform, I should say, I believe that's going to go away because GM has their no 4-cylinder truck motor, which is really cool.
Right, it is.
I saw David Tracy going over it with the GM engineer the other day, and that thing is a badass little motor.
Yeah, you're talking about the Turbo 4, right?
Yeah, it's a 2.7 liter Turbo 4. That's a big
turbo.
That's 4. A big 4-cylinder.
Yeah, it makes over 300 horse.
I think it's 315.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I think it's like 350 pound-feet of torque too. I mean, I remember it wasn't 10 years ago that was what you got with the V8.
Oh, 100%. And they were working hard and they were heavy and they were, so the Ranger, there's, it's XL, XLT, and Lariat. And then there's, a sport appearance package. There's an STX. There's an FX4.
Is there a Canyon Arrow?
No. It drove really well on road. The seats, either cloth or leather, were both really comfortable. You have to get the Super Crew unless you don't care about unless you're never going to put people in the back, because the Super Cab, unless you're putting like kids back there.
Remember, a lot of Rangers are work trucks.
Yeah.
You know, they're baseline. They're going to have vinyl seats or cloth or whatever the hell.
That's the thing. They don't really have like a full basic. So they have an XL.
Yeah.
But it has cloth.
Yeah.
But there's no like bench seated manual.
They're not going to give that to you though as an option to test.
No, they don't have it.
I bet you they will.
If they do, it'll be fleet only.
That's what I'm getting to.
But they didn't talk about it.
There's a lot of stuff that like GM and Ford will sell you on fleet only options. Like for example,
list it.
Like vinyl floors instead of carpets. Like that's a fleet option.
Good for pissing it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and as you do, when you're out after a hard day's work, you want to piss on the floor of your truck.
I love this truck. So
they call that the Trump option.
So, oh geez, the truck drove really well on road.
Mm-hmm.
I drove it one with a laden with a quad in the back, which isn't much. It's about 500 pounds.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like nothing for a modern truck.
And, but it didn't feel like anything either. And then once you took it off road, the FX4 4x4 was awesome. It had a much better crawl control system than the Tacoma, because we tested one as well. It was just really competent off road. I really liked it.
The only thing that worries me a little bit, and I get that. The thing that worries me a little bit, it's like there's almost too many features for if you want a basic truck where there's nothing that could break. Like there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Like I want
probably
not even alloy wheels, steelies on it.
The base Ranger has 16-inch steelies, but you
want truck.
Right.
Which is motor, transmission, rear drive, nothing.
You can immediately upgrade to like 17-inch aluminum.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying is part of the appeal of like that in the S10.
You can park it in your garage.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Part of the appeal of those was that like they're so simple.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing to break.
Yeah. Sure. So I want to grab a quick question before we dive into Carcane's question. But Skibum291 asked us, and thank you by the way, super chat. What were your top car related videos of 2018, Hooniverse or not? I personally am going to pick one of my own videos just because I'm still pissed that I'm not pissed. I knew nobody was going to watch it because it's not something that shows up in search well. But my Baja video, I loved shooting it, editing it, and I was really happy with the finished product. And then I can't remember farther back than that mentally because I have a child and my brain cells are being destroyed constantly.
It's not just the child. It's the fact that we're capping off our 30s and our brains are just going to mush.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, you're right.
It's not just the child because I can affirm that one.
Yeah. So there were, I remember watching a lot of other good videos. Carfection was churning out some good stuff this year with Henry Catchpool.
Yeah.
Alex Goy.
His latest, Henry's latest one with the Aston people on the new V12 was a great video.
Yeah.
All of Fenske's stuff is really, really well done.
Yeah.
He does a great job at breaking stuff down. Rob Dom's been just fucking nailing them for the last
against
6
him.
months.
I just don't watch it.
It's he's doing these amazing RX-7 builds right now. I mean, shocking. Rob working on rotaries, but he's doing a multi-$100,000 RX-7 that's all-wheel drive right now. It's ridiculous.
And then besides the ones we mentioned, it's always what the hell are they called? Bad Obsession Motorsports.
Project Binky.
Yeah, Project Binky's the best. You'll sit there through a 30-minute video and be like, these guys has to be a television show.
Half of my YouTube consumption is watching machinists, and the other half is watching people do electrical engineering. That's really what I'm down to at this point. I can just sit there and zone out and watch a machine shop video all day.
The lead fabricator is just effing amazing with his, like, they just go so far above and beyond, and it takes
the thing is that the lead guy, they're really downplaying the other guy that's on there because they're both ridiculous. The fabrication skills they have.
Like how they make the battery capable. The way they did it was in the latest video, the way they did the how to drive the alternator with like a flexi drive shaft was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Way overthought and very complicated, but necessary for the thing, but still incredible work.
Right.
Yeah. So the other one I gotta say, and it's not automotive related, but if you like this stuff, you'll probably like it. Anything from a channel called This Old Tony.
Oh yeah, you told us.
This Old Tony it's beautifully shot and he's very funny, and he'll introduce you to a lot of machining stuff that, like, if you're a car guy, you'll probably find interesting.
Right. Okay. Carcane had a great question though I wanted to follow up on because it was related to the Ranger. How long until Ford caves and brings the Ranger Raptor? There's no way. Jalopnik posted an article saying it's not coming.
Did you just do a soft J with the Jalopnik?
I don't know.
Jalopnik.
Jalopnik posted an article a few months ago about how the Ranger Raptor isn't coming to the U.S. And in the way Ford responded to their question was the 2019 Ranger Raptor is not coming to the U.S. That truck is printing money for them.
They're going to sell it here.
They can't build full-size Raptors fast enough, and I drove one up here. I'm in one all week. And the one I'm driving isn't even how I'd spec it because it's a super cab, not a super crew, and it's $68,000. The one I'd want is probably $72,000, and that is fucking crazy. So the Ranger Raptor is probably going to be 55.
But here's the thing: they'll sell it to you at a $200 payment for 114 months financing.
I might be down. The Raptor is so fucking awesome. I do not need a Raptor.
You will have at that point gone full Orange County.
Actually, click over to my Instagram. I have a picture of the Raptor I'm driving. I was going to pull this up later, but yeah, that's the beautiful truck I'm driving right now. But I would prefer the full size cab. I took it out today to shoot something for a different channel. It's just such a badass truck.
It's a gigantic vehicle, though. It's like when I had the FX4. They're just so egregiously large.
This feels so much bigger because that front track is so much wider.
I know. Well, I mean, the FX4, that was at least they didn't give me the dually, because I had the Duramax one with the giant engine bulge and everything in the hood. But yeah, they're all ridiculously oversized at this point.
They are. They're huge. Oh, I just had the actually we'll get to those.
Which, by the way, could not park it in my garage here.
No, not a chance.
No.
So moving on to the next bit of news. Yep. Our friends at Hoonigan finally, well, they already showed it a little bit on Amazon Prime, but Gym 10 is out, and I think it's amazing. All the locations, the vehicles, the truck was incredible, all that stuff.
I have it queued up. I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday.
It's really impressive, and like a lot of people said, Gymkhana Files was almost more entertaining to see what it takes to go into these, and it didn't seem like any manufactured drama. It seemed like Ken and Brian were actually like kind of over each other a little bit.
Did Zwart shoot it again, or
he only was there for? They showed him there for Gymkhana at the beginning as they're getting ready to talk about. Because he only shot Gymkhana, so he didn't do Gym 10. Gym 10 was full Hoonigan. And the locations were amazing. The cars were amazing. Hoona truck sounds good, but Hoona corn sounds better, but Hoona truck is cooler. Because the Hoona truck has basically like a Ford GT motor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Car Can asked, would I buy a new Raptor or get a V8? I get the new one. The Turbo 6 has grown on me. I like the noise a lot now. The V8 is better. The V8 noise is better. Yeah. But the second gen Raptor is a better truck.
What is the used V8 going for in the market now?
I don't know, because I always look at.
Well, chime in chat if you can tell us, because I mean, that you're saying that one you have right now is about 70K.
68.
Yeah. So
almost 69. You know where I look for V8 first gen Raptors? I look for Mexican market Raptors down in Mexico, because I really want. So for those of you who don't know, when they sell F-150s in Mexico, they're called Lobos, and I really want my truck to be called a Lobo Raptor.
Yes, but have you seen what happened to Jason's car where it went after it was totaled here?
Who, Connor?
Yeah.
No, what? His Focus?
It's in the Mexican market.
Oh, really?
And being sold as it's perfectly fine.
Oh,
so yeah, I'd be very cautious about buying a Mexican market vehicle.
It still sounds like a fun adventure if I had more money. Now I wanted, so Gym 10, the truck was amazing. It has that EcoBoost motor. They did some crazy stuff. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go watch it. I sent Brian a text saying, job well done, all that stuff. And I told him I want to come over to the donut garage and kind of turn in my old Hoon truck plate and just put my head down and be like, I don't deserve this. Like, it's all you guys. So yeah, maybe we'll do that someday. It'd be kind of funny. Now, also in the news, interesting bit. If you're a fan of electric cars and motorsport, Jaguar held its inaugural I-Pace E-Trophy racing series, and this is a support series for Formula E.
The Apache.
The Apache. The first race of the season was in Saudi Arabia, and it was also interesting because there were 3 or 4 female race drivers in a country which only just allowed women to race, as fucked up as that is, drive. Sorry.
And the person that ran down the most journalists won.
Yeah. No, I forget, Simon Evans, I think was the name of the winner, but it's a 25-minute race, and then there's a 1-lap sprint race as well. But there's no more like swapping batteries. Like even with Formula E, I don't believe
Formula E cranked up the power.
Yeah, they're all the way through. The cars look kind of cool. Here we have a picture of it. We can pull it up. So they're I-Paces. I always want to say E-Pace. They're I-Paces with.
Well, if you were in France, they would be.
Race. I mean that looks ridiculous, but also kind of cool. I like that the sample name is A. Driver. Can you see that on the window?
Oh,
Maybe it's Adam Driver, and he's like doing some Han Solo or sorry, Kylo Ren shit. But it looks ridiculous, but it's a cool way for an automaker to step in and support the series. You know, I got to give him props for that.
Yeah.
And as more automakers back Formula E, it's only going to get better and more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I find most fascinating is that they can race technically anywhere. As long as the city surface is smooth, they can do downtown New York. They can do LA. They can do it any city center, and that's fascinating.
Well, yeah, I mean, and when Formula E first came out, that was one of the things that I brought up is like there's no longer a noise constraint. The only thing you have to worry about is tire noise, but it's nothing in comparison.
No, it's so I'm very curious to see where Formula E goes. Absolutely.
I'd be interested to see if in like 5 years if the Formula E cars can turn a faster lap than the Formula 1 cars.
There will be a point. There might be a point.
Well, I mean, the torque curve. I mean, and you've got an infinitely tunable drivetrain.
Another good question that just popped in. 71Z, do the shocks in the new 2019 Raptor feel different than the ones in the 17-18 Raptors? I notice far less brake dive. So it's just a more stable ride. It's super comfortable because they have the new Fox live valve. So for 2019, they updated the suspension a little bit. And it's when the first gen Raptor V8 came out, it was full-on trophy truck where you were moving so much from the suspension. It was fun, but over time I could see that getting annoying. And then that was smoothed out a bit with the second gen, and now on 19 it's smoothed out even more. However, I will tell you, I got the front end of the truck off the ground today, and it is so comfortable. Like it's amazing what they can do with that truck. It's a street truck, it's a production truck. It's wild. Like you have your Ram Rebels, your ZR2s, the TRD Pros. No, there's only one Raptor, and everything else is just, it's not even the same classic truck.
I'm really surprised that at this point either Dodge or GM hasn't went, yeah, we're going to do it.
Well, Ram came out with the TRX, Rebel TRX concept, which was like 575 horsepower, badass, but Chevy should be able to do something insane with the spool valve, because the suspension in the ZR2 is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's crazy good.
Sorry, for those of you watching.
Maybe that was the strategy. It was like, well, we'll try this first and like see, because it was their own little niche that they had all to themselves for a while.
Right. So I don't know. Now, last bit of news here: Lincoln is making a splash with this. This is the Continental. It's called the 80. It's called the Coach Door Continental. There's no way a modern automaker.
AKA the Continental we should have built from the beginning.
No automaker will call these suicide doors in the modern era, so these are called coach doors. They had to work with a special coach building company, I believe, so the wheelbase is stretched. You have those rear suicide doors. I'm going to see if I can pull up some more photos here. I mean, that's pretty badass. Yeah, there you go. There's a good shot of it.
That's the way it should have been. I'm lukewarm on the rest of the car, but yeah, it's...
So they're doing 80 of them, and they're only doing 80 of them because this is the 80th anniversary of the nameplate. And it's going to cost $100,000.
Of course it is. And you'll have to be insane to spend that much on a Continental.
Yeah, that's it. But it's $20,000 more than the highest trimmed. Like if you did, I think it's a black edition, blah blah blah. Like every option.
There'll be like 5 people in the normal world to buy it, and then the rest of them would all be like Ford employees.
It seems like it should be a Neiman Marcus special. To be totally honest, like they missed the boat getting into the catalog this year. I bet. They're building 80 this year. These are going to be badged as 80th anniversary cars. They're gonna build more next year. They're just not saying how many of them, and they won't get the 80th anniversary badge. So if that really matters to you, then you should buy one this year. But you just know you've just bought an $80,000 or $100,000 Lincoln Continental, albeit a pretty cool looking one because of the doors.
It is, but $100,000 buys you a lot in that segment.
It buys you a shit ton in that segment. Now
it's
really
hard to
does.
justify on that Lincoln.
Yeah, it is hard to justify. But
I mean, you could do a Panamera, you could do an S Class,
right?
You could do a 7 Series.
You could do a fucking lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump over to some questions now. We're gonna start with Patreon because Patreon's better than everybody. First question is from Marshall Cash, who asks, with your Ranger reviews out today on Jalopnik and Truck Central, what would you recommend as the best small pickup daily driver slash suburban yard work vehicle? My father is interested in the Ranger, hates the tacos ride, but never brings up the Colorado, and I'm wondering if that's a mistake. It's definitely a mistake. He should test drive them all. If he hates, I don't mind the Tacoma. I'm calling it the Tacoma's ride. It just has the worst fucking seating position of any new car on sale.
And again, like we talked about earlier, if you are in anywhere that salts the roads, you do not want to use that thing in the winter because they are notorious for the frames rotting out.
The Colorado is good. The Ranger is great. I prefer Ford usually. Chris usually slants Chevy, though we're appreciative of both.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Ford and a Chevy in the garage.
I mean, you're a Porsche guy now, so let's be real.
I have that too.
You have hats and jackets and
gloves. Oh yeah. I've got the keychain and I've got the special hat. It's the leather hat.
He's got a little Porsche Merkin.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do. It's in the Shield logo. Yeah.
If your dad doesn't like the Tacoma, that's fine. But now he has more choices. Spend a day, test drive the Ranger, test drive the Colorado.
Yeah.
But get the V6 if you're going to go Colorado.
Or the diesel.
Or the diesel.
The diesel, that's the one thing, is if you want good fuel economy, that diesel will go a long way.
Yeah.
That, and you can probably get some crazy deals on the Colorado right now too. Like
the
Ranger's,
especially end of year shit.
Yeah, the Ranger's new and I'm sure it's very nice. I'm sure I'll get a chance at it soon, but I bet you the Colorado's been around a while. You can probably get a crazy deal on it.
Yeah, you probably can. Brian Pocock asked, the year is 1912 and your investments in railroads and patent medicine have paid out the princely sum of $20,000. Do you buy a Fritchley electric car, a Doble Model B steam-powered car, or a Cadillac with an internal explosion engine and that newfangled electric starter? I found a car I would buy, actually, because I looked up this question beforehand. I don't know what the original price was, but it's a 1911 Pope Hartford Model W Portola, and I like that it was originally built in Boston.
None of the above do a Bugatti.
There is a Bugatti Type 18 that I did look at. Yep. And by the way, the car I mentioned is for sale right now on classiccars.com for $650,000.
I'm going to also just go, out of those three, though, I'm just going to say the Dobles, just because the old Doble Chevrolet Geo Buick jingle is stuck in my head from living in New England for 16 years.
But also about this specific car, it was once owned by a well-known brass era car collector named Dick King. If your name
That's fantastic.
Dick King, who are you? I'm Dick King.
I'm Cockmaster.
Yeah, that's just fantastic. I'm going to jump over to Twitter real quick and see where we're at on questions on that side.
Bugatti, though.
Bugatti Type 18, I believe, would be the correct Bugatti.
Yeah, which you can buy now from Persang.
Yeah, there you go. Sam Stein at Samuel_Steinuel. Which outlandish claims from tiny manufacturers are you buying, and which ones do you think are just bullshit artists clawing for headlines and retweets? I really, 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 really hope Rivian isn't just in this for a cash grab from foreign investment money and then goes, sorry, we can't make it, and close up factory and goes away. I hope that's not the case.
Faraday?
Well, yeah, I don't buy shit from Faraday.
No, Faraday is no.
I have known people who've left good jobs to go chase PR money at Faraday. And I'm not talking about one person specifically who might be listening to this podcast. I'm not singling you out. I know a number of people.
We know who you are, and we're sorry for the situation at the moment.
Yeah, Faraday is super high on the list. So we'll see.
Well, that, and I believe they had another catastrophe this last week in terms of like finances being shown off.
That's not shocking. You know who's been quiet lately and has been getting money, and I see them testing cars right around the corner from my house? Karma.
Oh, okay.
They have money. They have investment, and they're not shouting, look at us, look at us. They're just quietly testing their new car.
Is it a new chassis, or is it just the Karma with...
The sedan is like the same body shape, but I think some of the underneath stuff has been reworked. They're working on a coupe just to be stylish, but their real moneymaker will be like an SUV.
Okay.
I guess.
Well, I mean, if they're recycling that tub, I mean...
Well, I'm sure they're going to have to do something totally... Well, unless it's just a skateboard chassis. I don't remember. So I don't know. We'll see. Another Twitter question from Greg at Superset Greg. Chevy said they will decide within 10 years about making electric trucks or hybrid trucks. Just how dumb are they? Now, I'm curious what you mean by dumb. Do you think they're dumb for coming late to the party, or do you think they're dumb for pursuing this? Because I think electric assistance for trucks is smart.
Yes, electric pickup trucks, you would not be able to keep them on the lots for fleet sales.
Well, not even that. It's like just hybrid assistance, like you can get in the new Ram with its e-torque. Think about towing. You're at a stoplight and then the light turns green. that hybrid system, the e-torque, specifically if you have a Ram 1500 with the 5.7 liter, it gives you an instant extra shot of 130 pound-feet of torque over the 410 pound-feet of torque. So you move that trailer so much more easily.
I would be willing to bet GM probably already in their labs has a hybrid system hooked up to that new 2.7 turbo.
Yeah.
Because if you had that 2.7 turbo with the 350 pound-feet of torque, plus another 100 to 200 pound-feet of torque, like the V8 is pointless at that point.
Yeah, and it's 48-volt mild hybrid systems, and
but I think if you had a full electric pickup truck, you would not be able to keep them on the lot in terms of fleet sales.
For fleet sales, absolutely.
Because, you know,
like
if you're
running around military bases or just
think of like you're a little plumbing company or electrician company, right? And your guys just cruise around town all day where they drive like 30, 40 miles a day. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you go with the thing that takes no fuel and basically no maintenance?
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree. So if anything, we'd say Chevy 10 years out seems too long, but who knows?
These numbers are just thrown out there. They could announce it in 2 years.
Right.
You know.
Facebook time. Phil D'Almeida, with winter in full swing here in the Northeast, we're all switching our fridges over to winter beers. So what's your dark, heavy, and most likely high ABV winter beer of choice? Mine is Fegley's Rude Elf Reserve, a 10.5% Belgian strong ale from my hometown of Allentown, Pennsylvania. That's like never mind, I was thinking of a different song. I am open to anything so I used to be on the train of knowing exactly what beers are coming out and all that stuff, and my head is just so far in different direction now where I'm like, oh, that's neat, I'll try that. So I don't have a go-to right now. Whatever anybody hands me, I'm great. I'm hoping to dive into some really big Imperial Russian stouts at some point on some cold winter nights, and I'll actually be heading back east on Sunday. So I'm sure I'll find some.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to find people to drink it all night long,
drink away the cold,
the New England is the place to go.
Grace Rosthorne, sorry. Do you think the Chevy SS might have sold better if I like that, if Use got the LSA and LS9 versions we got in Australia? Which engine do we have again?
You get the LS3.
Okay. I mean, an LSA and an LS9 Chevy has, they got LSAs and LS9s in those?
Yeah, it's special editions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass.
But they were also very expensive.
I'm sure. Well, anything in Australia is expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, even like
and you're fighting CTSV at that point.
Yeah, which honestly, like, as great as the SS is, the CTSV is a much better car.
And the LS3 is perfect for the SS. The LS3 is perfect.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done it here in the States just because we already had the CTSV, and it's just, as much as I love the SS, the CTS is better.
Right. Matt Oshana, thoughts on the 1988 Dodge Monaco? And they posted a picture. It almost reminds me of an Audi, what is that, a 100 or something like that?
It looks
just
like,
in this specific
it looks like
photo.
every car from that era.
Right. I mean, it actually kind of, if you really dive into it, it really doesn't look that bad from the era, though. Like, it has some good lines.
Doesn't. You know, the funny thing is it doesn't look drastically different, just at a larger scale than the Nissan Sentra that my dad used to drive during that time.
Yeah. I noticed a question on YouTube, so I want to jump over here because it's a Chris question. Jonathan Brown asks, Chris, why do you think GM raised prices on the C7 as sales are plummeting? And what do you think of the upcoming C8? When do you think it will be officially released?
I'd be willing to bet that the price increase is due entirely to stupid tariff wars that we're having right now.
Oh, it could be that. Yeah.
That's almost certainly part of it. C8 will probably see. I mean, we'll unofficially see it get uncovered on a track or spy shots or something in probably 3 months. But it'll probably be unveiled in I'd say June, July-ish. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Tommy Loretto asked, do you think dealers are going to have a big markup on the Ranger once it hits the markup? I don't think so. Maybe the Ranger Raptor, but that's real dumb of them. But a regular Ranger? No.
Well, let's not put aside the stupid thing that Ford dealers have done in the past. Of hey, let's raise the price 30.
Yeah, but it's usually for STs, RSs. Like a regular Ranger, there's going to be thousands of them. So that if you don't there's going to be a dealership not far from you. There's going to be yeah, they suck. Come to us.
Yeah, people will do it. It just they won't sell them.
Tommy Loretto again. What suburb outside of Boston did you guys grow up in? I recently had an extended business trip to Billerica, Woburn, and Medford, and was curious if you guys were from that area.
That's a very specific local knowledge there, my friend. So I grew up. Well, we bounced around a bit, but I'd say the Manchester would be probably the one where I spent the most time.
That's New Hampshire, by the way.
Yeah. It's about like
an
I
hour.
don't know, not even.
Yeah, with traffic, it's an hour.
With traffic, it's like 24 miles or 25 miles, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an hour. It's like an hour from Boston, like downtown.
Yes, if you were like at the airport and trying to get
so
out.
that's why I'm thinking, because my town is next to the airport.
Yes.
So I'm from Winthrop, and then I actually worked at the Saturn dealership in Medford. It's obviously not still there. Of course it's not. I was gonna say if it's still there. Of course it's not still there.
Yeah.
I wonder what. I'm sure it's a car dealership still, but yeah, Winthrop, Mass is where I grew up.
Basically where I lived is where everybody used to come up from Massachusetts to buy their liquor.
Yes, and my mom lives in Manchester now, so I will be back.
She literally lives down the street from my best friend growing up, Jason, who I'm sure is probably watching or listening to this right now. And yeah, less than 2 miles from my house. So, growing up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. Derek Kuhn, any thoughts towards Gym 10 and Gym Files? I already covered it earlier in the podcast. Gym 10 was great. I will reiterate that Gym Files were awesome. If you have Amazon Prime, highly recommend going to watch it. Niles Rogers, what is the most satired, made fun of car group, i.e. Mustangs, Wranglers, Vets, Prius? I would say it all rotates a lot, and it depends who you're talking to, because like if you talk to people who like to go to Cars and Coffee, everybody makes fun of the Mustangs for being crowd eaters.
The Mustangs and the Vets are pretty evenly tied, but for very different reasons.
Vets, like you think of the Hawaiian shirts, even though C7 has changed that a little bit. Bro dozers, everybody rips on big trucks.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of rips on Stance Nation.
I just kind of laugh at them quietly.
I laugh at everybody because everybody who's too serious about any one segment needs to fucking chill out.
Yeah, I just find it hilarious. Like I still find the vet like preconceptions very, very amusing because it's just like, no, because all the old guys bitch about those cars now because they're like, they're not comfortable. They're blah, blah, blah. They're not round taillights.
Kevy Bice, favorite car you'd love to drive but don't want to look at, and favorite car you'd love to look at but don't want to drive. I like ugly cars. So, I mean, I would love to see a fully overlanded Aztec, a Pontiac Aztec with like method race wheels, fucking KO2s, a little bit of a lift. There's a factory available tent that you could fit to the back of those.
Yeah.
That doesn't go on top.
Fit
it goes in the
being
bed.
a generous word. They didn't. No, I know. But have you ever seen one in person?
No.
The panel gaps are wider than a 1972 Buick. Yeah.
Oh, well,
it's like, here's the tent and here's the body panel. There's like this much air in between.
Yeah, well, you know, still good, cool. It was so ahead of its time. Thing was ahead of its time.
The one that I hate to look at but would love to drive. What was it? The Rogue GTR.
Which one?
The Nissan Rogue GTR, I think it was.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Again, I don't hate the way or the Juke.
Oh, the Juke GTR. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then the other one is that's horrible to look at, but is supposedly amazing. The Rally Fighter.
I think though. See again, I think that looks cool. So but it had BMW power originally. But
it did, but then they put an LS in it because like they don't want it to break all the time.
Sorry. Yeah. Allergy season. So and Jonathan Brown asked, how's that LS powered Mercedes wagon doing? They're gonna start on it any day now. Any day now. They've been busy. So
it's gonna be a Christmas miracle.
We have the engine lined up. It's coming. I fucking swear to God, I will be driving it by this spring. I promise you.
Cue Jeff sitting in their shop with a shotgun.
Yeah. No, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're moving over to what we've been driving lately. Do you have anything you've been driving lately?
No, I mean,
I've been Macan back from the shop.
I did. I got the Macan back from the shop after it was hit, so I've been driving that.
Fuckers.
Yeah, hit and run, fuckers.
You need that dash cam.
I've legitimately been thinking about like getting some sort of camera system set up for front and rear monitoring.
Yeah.
But no, I cooled off on the press cars just because I've been too busy. That and I got really sick, so I just didn't have time.
Okay.
So
I just had the Silverado and the Sierra. I know I'm getting old because I could barely park the fucking things. Like I had to correct my spot multiple times, but I cannot see where like the body line, it just drops off into oblivion. You don't know where the fucking tires are.
Well,
I know it has cameras, but
not only that, but they fill the entire spot.
They're so big.
Like I remember, I mean, driving F-150s and Silverados 15, 20 years ago, like there was room to fuck up because they didn't fill the entire parking spot.
It was so hard that GMC Sierra, which was a nice truck, Silverado too. It's just, I felt like an idiot. Like, I cannot park these things. I can't get it in once cleanly, and you feel like less of an enthusiast, because I grew up priding myself on my ability to park. They're so goddamn big. It's crazy.
Well, that, and you're nervous that you're gonna hit somebody else, or like you're gonna fuck up the press truck.
No, it's not. It's not even that. I could be in a strip mall parked 3 rows away from somebody, and I'm like, my wife and I and our kid, we took her to see the new Grinch movie, which, by the way, was really good actually. And I'm parking, and I park a few spots away from everybody else. I pull in, I get out of the truck. I'm like, who did this? What blind idiot just parked this truck like this? And I get out. I'm like, you know what? You guys go ahead. I need to fix this. So I had to like adjust the parking spot. It was embarrassing how across the lines I was. So it's insane how shitty they are to park.
You know what was very nice though is when I had the CTS-V Sport, the overhead view for parking.
Yeah.
That really is, once you've got that in the car, you're like, oh, this is very nice.
The thing with the Raptor though is I'll just put the tires on the curb and don't give a fuck. I cannot stress how much I love the Raptor. I love it so much. That was actually next on my list.
I have been guilty of putting the Macan in off-road suspension mode.
Yeah.
So it lifts way up. So then I can just hit the curb bumper.
There you go. All right. I like that. Tomorrow, I was supposed to get a DBS this week, and apparently someone forgot to put it on their calendar. So that's sad. I was going to drive it here tonight and everything.
So instead you have a Raptor.
Well, yeah, it was going to be a little bit of an overlap. And then tomorrow, either tomorrow or Thursday, I get the new Ram, which I haven't driven yet. No, that's not entirely true. Today I shot a video of the Ram Rebel for Auto by Tel, but I haven't spent like a full.
So this has just been a full like 5-6 weeks of trucks.
It's a truckgasm. It's truckosaurus. I'm out of them. I don't have any more left.
You're stumbling worse than Dan Harmon right now.
And I am not drinking at all.
No.
That's probably why.
So that's it. We'll get you good and liquored up and then send you on your way back to Orange County.
So the Rebel was good today. I'm looking forward to the regular Ram. But then when I fly back to Boston on Sunday, I'm getting into the G70. And I'm super pumped on that.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good. Especially, did they give you the all-wheel drive?
3.3 turbo. I'd assume it's all-wheel drive because it's Boston, but we'll see. Yeah. They usually throw the all-wheel drive press cars to New England in the winter, so
I really want to drive that thing. It was in the running when I was looking for cars, but like the release date was always unclear.
Yeah. So I'm very curious about that one. And then when I get back from Boston, I get my hands finally on the Stelvio QF, which we had to reschedule, and the Red Eye Challenger, which will be rad as fuck, or rad AF, as the kids say.
Yeah, the Stelvio, good luck. It broke preemptively before.
It did. It did. Thank God it did. We would have been fucked.
I don't know how Alpha is going to survive more than another year or two.
Yeah. I mean, I see Julia's, though. I do see them.
I do see them on occasion, and then I'm like, wow, how long since you last broke down?
Yeah. Another one that is going to be really interesting is, even though the car's already on sale, Audi is doing the launch of the Q8, the North American launch of the Q8 in January. Mm-hmm. So we're flying into Salt Lake City, we're driving through Moab, and we're finishing in Telluride. That's aggressive for the Q8. I mean, I'm sure we're not going over like the fucking giant arches.
You know what? That thing will do it. No problem.
Yeah, but there's some sections where it's like Wrangler guys are like, oh, I don't know. I gotta talk to my other friends and see if I need a spotter.
Something tells me it'll be okay.
Oh, somebody has a Stelvio. Somebody has a Stelvio TI Sport, and they love it, and it's been perfect for 6 months.
Congratulations.
There you go, Mr.
You,
Brown.
sir, have won the lottery.
My Alpha Stelvio never breaks. Congratulations.
And here's the thing is, I say that with a great deal of like sadness because I like Alphas otherwise.
They're gorgeous.
Quite a bit.
The interiors are lovely, and we're not just changing our tune here because you said that. I would love
to have a Quadrifoglio. They're just so goddamned unreliable.
I had issues with my press car, but I forced the issues because Jonathan Klein told me to do this and it'll throw an error code, and I tried it and it did. And that was my only issue.
Every single person I know that had that as a press car, it broke on.
Yeah, I was supposed to have the QF.
And I'm not talking like 2 or 3 people. I'm talking 8 or 10.
Everyone. I know. He wrote, "It's bright red, it kicks ass," and I love it. I mean, congratulations.
Hey, it's under warranty too, so good for you.
So the Audi Q8 trip, I'm looking forward to that. Mostly because I've never been to Telluride, but also because the Q8 looks awesome. Not just because I'm a journalist homer who's in it for the trips. I'm not. I barely flew this year. I'm losing all my airline
Audi
status.
Audi makes a really nice big SUV. They always have.
They do, and this is like a more shapely one. Actually, I just convinced one of my good friends to buy a Q7.
Okay.
They're replacing an MDX with a Q7.
That's a nice upgrade.
So there you go. That's the good stuff. What's going on in your life car wise? What's going on? Like anything new?
Nothing particularly interesting in the moment. I'm just kind of starting to collect parts for the vet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting my Z06 wheels that I bought powder coated. I'm gonna do them in a bronze, so I will have bronze wheels on a black car now.
Okay, I like it.
And then trying to get some brakes and stuff all sorted out and that kind of fun stuff.
Sure.
Right now it's running like shit because I got to replace the O2 sensors in it because they're over a decade old.
Yeah, that'll do it. On the Benz front, the sedan Benz front, I'm trying to not put more money at it. I think we've talked about this because it's going to be for sale soon. It's not officially listed. The person who was first on the list found another car in the meantime, and I don't fault them at all. I wasn't holding them to anything, and they found they always really wanted a W123 anyway, and they found a super clean one, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then on my sedan, like I said, I'm trying not to throw money at it. It's driving fine right now. I said Jonathan wants to know if you supercharged your Corvette.
No, I didn't. I sold the supercharger for that actually. Heads and cam are what's going on it because I wanted to keep it normally aspirated because nothing's normally aspirated anymore.
Correct. So the Blue Benz, if anybody out there is interested or knows someone interested, send me an email, Jeff@Hooniverse. I will tell you every single thing wrong with it and every single thing right with it. And I did that to someone else who was interested, and then I didn't hear back. The car is a great driver, though. It really is a great driver, especially that I've sorted a lot of stuff. I wonder, have we been on since I fixed the
We
dash
talked about
light?
the rheostat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fixed. That felt so good. Such a ghetto fix, but it fixed. Fucking fixed. The Wombat, the shop it's at, so the shop owner had the building owner come to him and say, "Hey, I sold the building. Your lease is up soon. We're not renewing it." He owns all the lifts inside there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just down the road, it used to be an Allen Tire Company store, and they've been vacant for months, and he already passed the stuff to get that as his new store. So there's more bay doors now. It's bigger. So it was a blessing in disguise. And it'll be a new shop even closer to my house. I can see it from this dead end street outside my condo. I can see the shop basically.
Okay. Oh, I think I know which one you're talking. Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool. Yeah. Someone says they just got here, but I'm curious if Chris works in tech. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I own a couple of tech companies.
Yeah. So the shop where the Wombat is moving, and that's delaying things a bit, but he thinks my timeline to drive the car by March is good. So
you're not breaking any new ground with that swap.
No.
So, which sounds like an insult, but it's actually a really good thing.
No. So we'll get moving on that soon. And I'm trying to think of any other cool cars I have lined up. Nothing that jumps out. I really want to get my hands on that DBS because I thought it was on my schedule and it's not. I really want to drive the McLaren 600 LT. And then someone else mentioned they want to see us drive more classic cars. My friend has 3 of them in his driveway that I have full access to go drive, and I just haven't had time to shoot them. But we're going to, and it's a Chevelle, it's a Nova, and an El Camino. And then
so you've got the G bodies covered.
Seriously. And then I don't know if you guys know Ron Baugh at all, he's at 777 Style on Instagram. He works for Forgiato. He loves muscle cars and stuff too. So he works on like some big flashy cars, but he drives a Hellcat and a Fox body Mustang. And both of those cars have been featured on Hoonigan's YouTube channel before. We're going to drive his Mustang at some point. So yeah, I want to drive older shit too. We just did I haven't been on since I drove or maybe it was the last time I was on. I don't remember. The 1949 Power Wagon. Does that sound familiar to you?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Okay. I drove a 1949 Dodge Power Wagon built by Legacy Classic Trucks. So
I saw the pictures.
Okay. $318,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
But if you think about the labor hours alone, there's 2,000 to 3,000 hours of labor into this truck.
Yeah.
The owner who owns it uses it in Colorado to like tow snowmobiles, which is fucking rad. Like he actually drives it like a truck, and it was fantastic with that 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically
away.
like an icon style restoration.
So I asked him I asked him off camera, like, are you and Jonathan competing? He's like, our customers are so different. He's like, Jonathan and I are frenemies. He's like, I'm having dinner with him while I'm out here later tonight. His stuff, he's like, see these door handles? Those are like normal door handles that I cleaned up. If they were Jonathan's, they would have been pulled off some like Howard Hughes aircraft and machined from this and that. He's like, I don't need that. My shit just needs to work, but never fail. Whereas Jonathan's does that, but then is also art.
Yes. John's stuff is like, it's stuff you can drive, but it's also a piece to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Not like beat on regularly. Although you can.
Yeah,
but
and
like,
I think some of his owners do.
Yeah.
But this is the legacy truck though, like it sounds like the people who buy those put them to work, which is fucking awesome.
Right. Well, I mean, at the same time, they're, like that's a Dodge truck. Like the parts are available. So if you do break something, like you can get parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not all custom.
So that's some of the cool shit we have coming up. But the new site design. That was on my list and I totally fucking skipped it.
If you're looking at the site now, it's probably broken at the moment.
So I'm going to tell you why the site is broken at the moment. I'm going to check on my phone to see if that's the case. We finally transferred over to our new site design. Oh, it might. Oh no, the old site loaded.
Yeah.
The old Hooniverse.
There was a redirect loop going on earlier when I went to go and look at it.
So if you go to Hooniverse.com right now, it's the old site. But the new design is live. We're just currently propagating,
including this logo.
It's just a slicker looking site that's going to allow us to do cooler layout stuff. The content is not changing. The quality of the content, or lack of quality of the content, is not changing. But there's a dedicated videos page now. There's a dedicated podcast page now, which I have to figure out how to RSS that correctly so
we can easily figure that out.
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to plug the RSS feed into that page. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay. I might even give you some back end access to the site
Yeah, we'll sort that.
Give you my back end access.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I gotta write that down. That's the title of this episode. Back end access. So I'm gonna forget that. Somebody remind me on Twitter that this episode should be called Back End Access.
The password is Open Sesame.
I'm gonna make a brown eye joke, but I'm not gonna do that. This is not Mr. Wonderful's podcast. Not Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Regular. I watched too much Shark Tank. So the new design is up. I can already see some old readers of the website hate it, which just when change happens, people hate that. We didn't have the new commenting system in place yet because we're going to retain what's on the old site, which is discuss, and people like stuff they're used to. So right off the bat, people were like, I fucking hate this, which sucks to hear because the whole time we've been leading up to this, all of us internally are so stoked on it. However, other people outside of it who maybe are new to Hooniverse looked at it and were like, oh, this looks great. I just saw the new design. It looks fantastic.
Yes.
So I just have to put my head down and charge forward because we're not going backward.
Coming from somebody that's had to do many, many updates on many things over the years, don't ever second guess yourself because of a few people complaining.
Oh, I'm professional at second guessing myself. So, but I'm super pumped to show you the new design. You could have seen it earlier in the week. You can't see it right now because we're in the middle of switching from hosting companies, so domains are propagating. So if you literally go there right now, it's the old site. Even though it was redirecting to, if you go to hooniverse.store, you might be able to see the new site. Thank you, Eric. He just chimed in on I'm going to see I just want to see if the old site is up at the old URL, because that one might actually be down too. No, they're both pointing to the old site right now for some reason.
Yeah,
which
redirects. 3 or 4.
So it's all redirects and bullshit. But when you get to the new site, when it's up, this week, we're running something called our Hooniverse Car of the Year, our HCOTY. We do this every December. All of the editors nominate, and Eric, make sure you get yours in. I think I included you in the last email. That's someone who's watching the audio. We nominate cool shit from out the year. So our car of the year is normally a new car never wins. It's something cool we found. It could be a motorcycle. It could be, it's like The guys from Roadkill won it one year. Some crazy motorcycle, some drift truck, all kinds of shit has happened. So stay tuned to see what we nominate for our car of the year, and then we open the polls, and then you vote on it. And that voting post usually happens right after Christmas and runs through the new year. I think we close the poll on the 2nd, and then we give someone, you're the Hooniverse car of the year. We crown it in 2019 for 2018. So stay tuned for that. That was a fucking mouthful. I should have done that earlier in the show. And that's about it, actually, for this week's episode.
I think, that's it for this year.
Do we need to do anything for our friend Ben? Or not yet?
We will address after this.
Okay, cool. That's business that doesn't need to be brought up, but I was just making sure we weren't missing anything. So whatever. We will see and talk to you, and you will hear us all again in the new year, because the next few episodes will be SEMA ones, and we have some great ones with Alana and Musto and other people.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff coming up, and and
Seaman episodes.
Yes. Well, let's just give Ben a plug right now.
Aquaman tie-in.
Yes. Go to unnamedautomotivepodcast.com.
There you go. Go to unnamedautomotivepodcast.com.
Yes, we've got some ads. It's a friend of ours that's doing a show. We're doing some ads for them. It's just we gotta iron a little stuff out. That's
unnamed all. Podcast. Unnamedautomotivepodcast.com.
Yep.
Is that it? Okay.
Okay.
Those ones are free.
They are.
We'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, I'm the one who has to shut it off because I'm there. Bye.
Bye.